Hey guys, this is Ben aka Taport, and today we're going to talk about how I feel microtransactions could play out in the new Halo Infinite. Gaming, as well as many other industries, always have and will follow trends. Today we're going to take a look at what the current path of gaming could mean for Halo Infinite, given some information we already know and some clues I've thought up about the direction that Microsoft and 343 may be taking in their next installment of the Halo franchise. Whether it's indie platformers, battle royale, or the gray and gritty modern shooter, gaming has always trended towards similar design philosophies based on what consumers are enjoying in that particular generation of video games. Following the leader makes sense from a design standpoint because betting on what people want can be a shot in the dark that many publishers and studios may not feel safe making. The result is that gaming can adopt standards that you end up finding across different genres and titles, especially as they prove themselves to be successful or especially profitable strategies. One of these trends that we saw exploding in the past is the advent of microtransactions. Originally introduced through mobile gaming, the model took advantage of users' urges to complete levels and save game time with huge success from games like Farmville, making an estimated $150 million in 2010 alone. Naturally, potential profits inspired executives at publishing companies like EA, for example, to encourage studios to build their games with these post-purchase add-ons baked in. Consumers initially adopted some of these new concepts, eager to have at the flashy content that came with them, but soon changed their minds when the model became the skeleton which their favorite games were built upon. In recent memory, the shining example of this is the 2017 Star Wars Battlefront 2, which had microtransactions so fundamental to the game that unlocking some characters purely out of playtime and earned credits could take up to 40 hours of gameplay. This resulted in massive protests by fans. Now, I'm sure you probably know the rest of the story, and after Battlefront's rough launch, EA scrambled to make some changes, but since then, microtransactions have fallen extremely out of fashion in gaming to prevent any further humiliations for titles further down the line. This left players skeptical of most cases of transactions in future games, which leads me to our topic today. In mid-2018, 343 Industries posted a job listing seeking an online experience design director who would oversee in and out of game microtransactions as well as keep players engaged with the game over time, which was a shock to Halo fans. Seeing microtransactions raised alarm on several Halo news sites and forums. And after considering the following, I think I have an idea of what all this could mean, not only for Halo, but potentially all or most Xbox franchises in the near future. So without further ado, my answer is simple. Season points. Take Gears 5 and Halo the Master Chief Collection as they stand now and consider this. Both games are published by Xbox Game Studios, and both games also feature their own flavor of seasonal content and progression. The Master Chief Collection awards the players with points acquired by playing the game as you normally would, which includes multiplayer, campaign, and I assume the soon-to-come firefight mode. You can use these points to unlock content one at a time in a linear progression for the game of your choosing. In the meantime, you can also complete challenges on the side to gain access to other content such as weapon skins. At present, there are no monetary transactions in Halo MCC besides purchasing titles as add-ons if you don't already own the complete game. Gears 5, on the other hand, follows a slightly more grindy and potentially expensive path. Through playing the game every season or tour of duty, one unlocks in-game currency called Golden Iron. Gold is unlocked more bountifully but carries less buying power than Iron, which is unlocked at higher ranks and less frequently, but can also be purchased for real-world money. Gold and Iron can be used to buy most in-game items you'd like, which allows players to express themselves more easily without unlocking items linearly or completing challenges. Unfortunately, not all the items can be purchased with gold, which is slightly supplemented by loot boxes earned for playing the game, but ultimately the items received from them are random and it could take time to unlock items you want. I personally expect Halo Infinite to adopt a hybrid of these two progression systems. We can already presume the game will support loot boxes from looking at Halo 5's rec packs and the confirmation that it will not include real money loot boxes. We also know it'll feature a similar level of customization as Halo Reach, which would be an easy way to introduce items that players will desire and be more willing to pay for out of pocket. I certainly expect a healthy amount of unlockable skins and customizations in the base game, but can't picture many other places for microtransactions to hide. It's likely that seasonal content will be available for unlocking, but in my opinion, it's equally likely that we'll see Gears 5 Iron-esque content that is hard to or impossible to obtain without paying real-world money. The fact that Halo Infinite will be available with Game Pass also means many people will have access to it for a relatively small fee, along with other games that Microsoft will be paying money to maintain and support content to. This leads me to believe that Infinite will adopt a games-as-a-service model, where continued content and support for the game will depend on players' ongoing contributions and enthusiasm for the title, which makes the game more dependent on microtransactions. I also think, however, that it's important to note that Game Pass being a subscription service means Microsoft is making its money whether you're playing your Xbox, playing Halo, or doing anything with it, which means that there is a lot of potential for income to be distributed amongst titles that are the most popular to fans. Basically, my point is that there should be a cushion of money from Microsoft to help soften the burden on consumers for driving new content and providing support to the developers to be able to create more content. With that said, I think there's a lot more potential for microtransactions not to be center stage in the game, and us having a lot of content that we just get with the base game and can work at and unlock at our own pace. Although I can accept the model, and I'm willing to accept it depending on how it's executed, it's intriguing to consider that we could soon meet a new generation of Halo where a portion of customization is reserved behind a paywall exclusive to fans willing to monetarily support their game of choice. I think it's a concept that is understandable but would be polarizing to a major portion of the fan base, as to my knowledge, there has never been a game in the series that used a storefront that gives direct access to unlockable content. Halo 5 was the first game that we saw loot boxes in, which was controversial at the time and served to somewhat normalize the concept of microtransactions in this universe of Halo, of course, which I think could soften the blow, and people are probably going to be a little more accepting of it, but there is still that standoffishness. Anyway, this is all just speculation and something I thought of as I've gotten back into Halo MCC on PC and have also tried out Gears again for the first time in a long while. I don't think it's too far-fetched, but would love to be surprised and see 343 bring back our beloved Halo closer to its roots where Bungie handed it off. But hey, that's just a theory. Again. So guys, tell me what you think. I'd love to hear your opinions and speculations about where Halo could be in the future, especially considering that there is talk of it being a hub title that supports all Halo content for the coming generation of consoles and gaming as a whole. I'm excited about the game and love what I've seen so far. Personally, I don't have an issue paying money to show my support for a good game, especially when it's an option that won't hold me back from enjoying the entire game that I love. For example, I got the Battle Pass for Modern Warfare when I first got the game, and have played it so much that I was able to get really cool unlocks like a camo called Damascus, which, if you know, you know. That's not really something I got into with this video, but they also have a cool series of unlocks where you get points that you can use to buy the next season pass for free, basically, if you save them up instead of buying something from the store. I think it's a really cool idea because it lets you buy your pass one time and keep getting cool stuff out of it and new unlocks, and you can just keep riding that wave. I think that it's probably something that Microsoft is obviously aware of. Given the current state of the passes and the seasons like I talked about in this video, it doesn't really feel like the direction that they would go to me, but at the same time, there's always time to change, and I think it's a model that people have really liked. It's a very fair way. You pay basically a one-time thing, and you get to just keep on playing the game, and every season you get to participate for free, and if you did spend your points, then it's just another $10, and it's every couple of months. It's not that bad at all. I think if it's really a game that I truly love, I would probably end up spending $10 for it every couple of months anyway. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much, you guys. I know it's been a while, but my name is Ben, aka Tapward. I hope you enjoyed. Definitely let me know what you think down below. Have a great day, and peace.